Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Mega Movie Drive-In. I'm your host. The name is in the credits, so let's get rolling. I mentioned this one in the last episode, so I figured I should do it today. The Beast from 20,000 Fathoms is a sci-fi horror movie from 1953 produced by Warner Brothers. It was directed by Eugene Laurie, but based off the story by Ray Bradbury called The Foghorn. No, not that foghorn. The monster effects were done by the legend himself, Ray Harryhausen, and might I say, he does a kick-ass job with this one. This monster has attitude and feeling in every scene. Our story begins, like most others from this time period, with military stock footage. We first see our two main characters, Colonel John Evans, played by Kenneth Tobey, who is another personal favorite of mine. Awesome actor. The way he delivers his dialogue is superb. Perfection. The whole way. He's got this funny arrogance to him, like, yeah, whatever, you. And over here we have Professor Tom Nesbitt, played by Paul Hubschmid, and Dr. George Ritchie, played by Ross Elliott. They are here at the North Pole to test the new atomic bomb. Cut to two radar operatives watching the bomb as it explodes. After the explosion, they catch something across their screen. They report it to the doctors and Colonel Evans, but once they show up, they don't see anything on the screen. So the other three just brush it off and look at them like they were insane. Later that day, the three are discussing the success of the bomb, when Professor Nesbitt brings up a very good point.
I feel as if we were helping to write the first chapter of a new Genesis.
Let's hope we don't find ourselves writing the last chapter of the old one.
You sound like a man that's scared, Tom.
What makes you think I'm not?
This is kind of the tone for a lot of those movies back then. What would become of all this radiation and stuff they're spilling into the Earth? Or could it possibly be the end of the Earth? Who knows? Interesting enough, this monster isn't necessarily affected by atomic nuclear energy, it is just woken up by it. Usually monsters back then were affected and mutated by it, but this one is just awoken from it. They head out to check the radiation levels around the area to see how far the radiation spread from when the bomb went off. Dr. Ritchie is the first to see the monster. He is taken by surprise and falls down into an ice bank and breaks his legs. He sends out a gunshot to signal Nesbitt. Nesbitt tries to get George out, but is unsuccessful as the monster buries him in ice and snow. Nesbitt then shoots off a round as he passes out, fading away. They bring Nesbitt back to the base where he is mumbling and delusional.
The monster. There, it's coming. Watch out! The monster! The monster!
So, they send him all the way back to New York. The doctor makes a speedy recovery, but is still talking about the monster he saw on the ice. To make sure he's not totally loony, he talks to a psychiatrist who tells him it's all in his mind.
What about that sound I heard?
In your condition, it could have been anything. The wind, anything.
Since the monster has escaped from the ice, it's been swimming around the North Atlantic. His first attack is on a fishing boat off the coast of Grand Banks, Nova Scotia. Nesbitt reads about the attack in the comics section of the newspaper.
That item is right where it belongs, on the comic page.
Apparently, this hospital security is pretty relaxed because Tom is able just to walk out. He heads to the local college to plead his story to the dean of the College of Natural History, Dr. Elson, played by Cecil Kellaway. Ellison thinks he spent a little too much time on the ice, but his assistant Lee Hunter, played by Paula Raymond, is interested in his story. After Tom is released from the hospital, Lee tracks him down and says that she's very interested in what he has to say about this beast. So they head back to her place for sandwiches and pictures of known dinosaurs that exist. After hours of searching, Tom finally finds his monster.
I think that is it. Lee, I think that's the one I saw.
To help persuade Elson, Tom heads to Canada to see the boat captain of the first sinking, which goes nowhere, so he has to hunt down the first mate. This is Jacob Bowman, played by Jack Pennock. The plan is for him to help Nesbitt prove that the monster exists by going through the same sketches that he had. So if they pick out the same picture, they must have both seen the same monster, right?
That.
And guess what? Somehow, they picked the same monster.
The dinosaurus.
It's unbelievable. The doctor is somehow now convinced that the monster must exist. Tom calls up Colonel Evans to stop all shipping until they can find the beast, but Evans just laughs at him. But after speaking with Dr. Elson, he puts in a call to a friend at the Coast Guard who tells him to watch out for anything crazy on the high seas and to let him know about it. The monster attacks a lighthouse off the coast of Maine and then makes his way down Massachusetts to the Hudson River in New York. In an attempt to find the monster, they rig up a diving bell for Dr. Elson to head down to the bottom of the Hudson to look for the monster. He wants to try and capture it in one piece, which we all know is a stupid idea in this situation. While Tom and Lee are mourning the death of Dr. Elson, the Beast makes his way to New York City. I like the way this one guy waves at the monster and then takes off. I'm not really sure who in the right mind would actually think a little six-shooter is going to stop a 10-ton monster from the Prehistoric era. Okay, guys, if the little gun didn't work, I don't think about 6 or 8 shotguns are going to make a big difference either. So after a few feeble attempts to try to slow down the monster, night falls and the monster is able to hide inside the city somewhere. This gives the army time to plan its next attack, but unfortunately, have also noticed that anyone who comes in contact with the beast's blood becomes gravely ill. The beast has brought back a million-year-old disease with him. With now knowing this, they have to find a new way to destroy the creature in one piece. Nesbitt suggests shooting an isotope right into the monster's mouth. They find the monster inside an amusement park, trapped inside of a roller coaster. The colonel gets Tom his best shooter. Tom tells him, "Don't miss, or we're f***ed. You got one chance, buddy." The shooter takes his aim and hits the monster right in an open wound. As the monster dies in dramatic fashion, you almost feel kind of bad for him. He's almost got this Frankenstein feel to him. Like, he doesn't understand what's going on. He's just being himself. And unfortunately, in the 20th century, that just wasn't going to fly. And that is The Beast from 20,000 Fathoms. Overall, this is actually one of my favorite monster movies. It predates Godzilla, which actually is my favorite monster movie. Possibly one of my favorite movies of all time, besides Aliens, that is. I would most definitely recommend this movie to anyone who wanted to get into the monster movies from back in the day. It's got a great plot, an awesome-looking monster, and just all-around great action. There's really no drag to this movie. Even the part when they're sitting at the play, trying to kill a little bit of time till the monster does something. Even that doesn't feel like dragging. And the dialogue is done very well, and Dr. Ellison is just a great character start to finish. Not to mention, this is one of the first monster movies to really bring the whole nuclear, atomic horror possibilities to the front. Once again, thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed this edition. I haven't said this before, but I think I'm going to start trying this one. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos. Click that like button below. Leave a comment below, too. Hey, man, tell me what movie I should do next. I'll see you all next time for more prehistoric monsters.